Mhm. Hello, my name is Matt Luther, and this is my presentation on the Canada-EFTA. My first slide is just my table of contents. We'll go through that real quick. Slide one is the title page. Slide two is table of contents. Slide three is just a little bit of an explanation on the Canada-EFTA. Slide four is a chart, Canada's top imports from the EFTA. Slide five is an explanation of what Canada-EFTA does. Slide six is a historical timeline of Canada-EFTA. Slide seven is the historical development of the Canada-EFTA. Slide eight is objectives of the Canada-EFTA. Uh, then slide nine is just Canada's involvement. Slide 10 is strengths and benefits of the Canada-EFTA. Slide 11 is weaknesses and disadvantages. Slide 12 is my personal opinion, and slide 13 to 14 are just my conclusion and then my MLA citations. So what is the Canada-EFTA? The Canada-European Free Trade Agreement is a free trade deal between four countries that include Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Switzerland. This was signed on January 26th of 2008 and officially became what it is now on July 1st, 2009. Canada's top commodity imports from the EFTA member states uh, in 2008. Um, as you can tell, like mineral fuels is the biggest import from the EFTA member states at 61%, and then uh, the next biggest one is pharmaceutical at 17.9%, and then splits up pretty evenly as you go down into machinery, organic chemicals, electronic machinery, and clocks and watches and that sort of stuff. Um, what does the Canada EFTA do? It removes taxes and just makes it cheaper and easier to trade things like machinery, air, aerospace parts, and seafood. Um, this doesn't cover services or government contracts, but it's pretty helpful. It was Canada's first trade agreement with European countries, so that was a big one for Canada. Um, the historical development of this timeline. Uh, this was founded in 1960, actually. Then Canada and these European countries began talking about it in 1998, and it officially became official, I guess, and came into play, eliminating most tariffs on industrial products in 2009. And today, the EFTA are still negotiating updates to make the agreement broader and more modern for today's deal. Historical development. There was trade with these countries before it was official and regulated, um, but there was just no formal agreement. And then in 1998, there was a disagreement, and so the talks of this new trade agreement began more seriously in the early 2000s. And on January 7th, 2007, the countries announced the conclusion of trade talks. And then on January 26th of 2008, the trade was finalized, or the agreement was finalized, sorry. Now on to slide eight. The objective, uh, just to reduce and eliminate tariffs, to promote fair competition and trade networks for these smaller countries, and so they're not overpowered by bigger countries and have a better playing field, um, as well as increase trade and investment and strengthen economic relations. and just to diversify trade partners for Canada as well as the European countries. Uh, the Canadian involvement in the Canada-EFTA, Canada was the first to reach out to the European countries. They just wanted to broaden their spectrums and kind of uh, make it easier for trade with these countries. Um, the Canadian Border Agency and Global Affairs Canada play significant roles in enforcing the rules of the origin, tariff reductions, and dispute me- mechanisms under the agreement. And Canada sees this agreement as an opportunity to make more trade agreements and increase trade with more European countries. This will reduce Canada's dependence on the US, which we know that Canada wants. Um, the strengths of this agreement and benefits of the agreement, there's no tariff, new markets, more trade options, clear rules, future growth, and support for small businesses and more jobs. Um, no tariffs is the biggest one, and new markets just to run Canada's uh, trades and just be able to bring more in and import more out or export more out. I'm sorry. The weaknesses and disadvantages of this agreement. It's a small market. Uh, these European countries are small. Um, wasn't a huge boost in trade for Canada, but it was definitely more diverse. Um, farming is left out. Not many farm products are included, so farmers didn't get much help. Unfair benefits. Um, the other countries in the EFTA got better access to Canada's market than Canada got to theirs because Canada's a much bigger market. Um, the non-tariff barriers, different rules and standards still make trade hard even after the deal, and little impact. The deal didn't make a big impact less difference for Canada's economy overall. Uh, does the Canada EFTA promote economic progress? In my opinion, I think the Canada EFTA agreement supports economic progress, helps Canada grow its economy, and just makes it easier for companies to sell things like machines and services to rich countries, even though these countries are small, they are good trading partners. For example, Switzerland and Norway. In conclusion, the Canada-EFTA agreement helped Canada trade more with rich European countries, even though the benefits were small. Some, some sectors were left out, but it still opened new opportunities and showed Canada's goal to grow its trade. And it just helped the diversification of trade in Canada. And then my last slide is just my MLA citations. I use Canada Global Affairs, Canada European Free Trade Association, and then uh, Canada Global Affairs again, just the table of contents that time. Thank you very much for your time.